I guess it's been a while now, although it doesn't seem that long ago, that I was a brand new first-time candidate myself. And my very first campaign event and my very first race was right here in Hot Springs, Arkansas, in Garvin County. And Garvin County, especially Garvin County Republicans, have been there with me from the very beginning. And I have to say, maybe next to only my own home county, Young County, I have a special place in my heart for Garvin County and the Garvin County Republican Party. We've come a long way over the last 10 years when you and I first met. And I was just a young, unemployed veteran at that time. Then I got elected to Congress because of you. And then 2014 was a momentous year for us. Got elected to the Senate, got married, got a wife who's pregnant with my first child. And now those two boys, as we're at our second one as well, are 6 and 4 years old. You may have noticed I have a little bit more gray hair around the temples now than I did 10 years ago. I don't know if it's the children at home or the children at work that give me that gray hair. Today, America needs conservative Republicans more than ever that have the courage to do what is right. Because the differences we have with the progressive left in America are increasingly not just minor differences of opinion about whether taxes should be at 37% or 39%, about whether we should have this much growth in our military budget or this much growth. They are increasingly fundamental questions about our way of life, because the progressive left in this country increasingly doesn't just think America sometimes goes down the wrong path. It thinks that America is rotten from the start and to the core. And I reject that root and branch. It can explain some of the things that you see in Washington these days. I mean, if, as so many Democrats profess, you think America is systemically racist, or it's been rotten from the start and remains rotten to the core, why would you have pride in our country? Why would you stand for the anthem? Why would you want to teach your children that America is a great and noble nation? Why would you have confidence in American leadership in the world? Look no farther than Joe Biden's fiasco in Afghanistan. Something that Joe Biden shockingly calls an extraordinary success. An extraordinary success. That we have been humiliated by a degenerate gang of 7th century savages in the Taliban. That he left thousands of people behind Taliban enemy lines, American citizens, green card holders, some of the Afghans who have fought alongside us for years, who have vetted and proved how to be to this country. Just left them behind enemy lines because it was inconvenient to him. Because it was stopping him from pursuing his radical domestic agenda. How else can you account for some of these mistakes? You don't exactly have to be U.S. Grant to know that you should get your civilians out of the country before you get your military out of that country. It doesn't take a Dwight Eisenhower or a George Patton to know you probably shouldn't surrender your secure air base that is 40 miles away from enemy lines rather than trying to evacuate an airport in a city of 6 million people. These are not difficult or hard challenges. They're only explained by the fact that Joe Biden doesn't have the strength and the confidence in America's power and nobility in the world. He thinks that it's time for America to be humbled and laid low. And as I said, I reject it root and branch. I think of the men and women with whom I served in Afghanistan, or the thousands of other troopers that we served with in Afghanistan. I've heard from a lot of them over the last month or so. I've heard from some of the Gold Star families, like the families of these troops who can't be here with us tonight. And they say, was that service in vain? Of course it wasn't. We had one core mission in Afghanistan. It's been the same mission since the very first day, and that was to prevent that country from ever being a sanctuary and a safe haven from which brutal terrorists could launch attacks that could kill Americans by the thousands, and it didn't happen for 20 years because of their service. And down to the very last man, to these 13 Marines and sailors and soldiers who gave their life so they could save their innocent fellow citizens who were stranded and would be a medieval tyranny. Every one of their sacrifices was noble and honorable. I think about Adam Brown's sacrifices, and many of you knew Adam. For conservatives and Republicans across this country at a time when it feels like you are under assault, when America is under attack, we will never retreat. We will never back down, and we will never surrender in the defense of our great nation. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless America.